Hey, I've been getting quite a few messages asking how I'm doing and stuff, so I figured I'd do an update. I also promised one of you guys that I would do an update this weekend, so not going to be a long one, but um, so in general, I'm doing good. Fairly sure that I'm currently clear of cancer. My next scan is in April though, so I don't know for sure until then. It's more other things that are bugging me, if you like the after effects of chemo, and I guess the after effects of having cancer. Like, it must drain your body, so for me, it's they think it's not a lymphedema, but I basically have a pain in my leg that I've had for about 6 years, which predates cancer. But for me, anything that I had before cancer or chemo is like 10 times more painful or more exhausting since chemotherapy. So my leg, it used to feel like somebody was squeezing my leg, or like it was tightly bound. It would feel like all the blood would go into my leg, but it like wasn't coming back out. So in effect, without quoting Taylor Swift, it would feel like bad blood in my leg. So heat, ice, take a bath, raise it, whatever, wouldn't work to solve the pain that I had in it. But just lately, elevating it is definitely helping. I went to the lymphedema clinic, and within 2 minutes of me being in the room, she said it's not a lymphedema because that doesn't hurt, which seemed like an odd thing because surely any condition that you have that's uncomfortable hurts or is an annoyance. So it's not a lymphedema, so I went back to my GP and I got a referral to vascular. I'm waiting for an appointment from them. I'm hoping they'll like inject dye into my body and run me through a CT or an MRI and just see where the blood is going and where it's not managing to get to. It's like the temperature difference between my feet when my leg is bad is insane. One is like an ice block and one is like I'm actually alive. I do have Raynaud's anyway, so my hands and feet are cold the majority of the time. But this again is another extreme. It's so cold that it's obvious. So that's the one thing, the lymphedema. I did plan on writing this down so I could keep referring, but I haven't got around to it. Motivation to do anything is lacking. I have stuff around my room, like my nephew's old shoes he wants me to sell on eBay. They've probably sat there for like a month, and it's 5 minutes on eBay, but it's just like, think about it. And sometimes just thinking about the thing, and I've said this in my previous videos, just thinking about it is enough to check it off my list and go, I did that. And I haven't done that, but whatever. I was going to say something else. There's books. That's what I was going to have next to me, but I don't have them. There's like 3 books I have in my room, sat waiting to read them. And again, it's just like, I can't concentrate beyond a couple of pages. Like I have my Brain After Chemo book, and I really do want to get through it, but I think I'm maybe 5 chapters in. I found some interesting stuff that I want to read, some stuff that I wasn't told. Like, it says that sometimes the side effects of chemotherapy can take 5 to 10 years to get better, including chemo brain, which the doctors don't believe exists anyway, but there's actually proof that it does. Sorry, saying a lot again, it takes me a while to think. So I've got about 3 books I need to read, all amazing books that like one of them's by my favourite comedian, Wanda Sykes, and I'm really, if you like, desperate to read the book, but at the same time I'm like, I know the effort, the brain, like, effort it would take to just get into it, and I'm like, and it's not that I'm not a reader, because I have read lots of books, I do read books, my hair's a mess. But yeah, I can read 1 or 2 pages, and I'm sort of sat thinking about that word 3 lines ago was what? And I'm just zombieing through the page, like I'm looking and I can see it, but I'm not taking them in properly, and it's literally just attention span is gone. I'm hoping that returns. I do try things to bring it back, like there's a website, I think I've mentioned this before, called freerice.com, and it has like word games on there, like, oh, so sorry. Sorry, got a phone call. I have no clue where I was now. Sorry. So I tried not to repeat myself, but the few things that I have problems with are attention span, memory, just remembered where I was, memory, and my leg is the major pain. Also have deterioration in my big toes, both of them. Like, I've had x-rays on both feet, and they said that the bone is deteriorating. I'm only 29, so I'm fairly sure that's not normal, but I don't know. So where I was pre-phone call, there's a site called freerice.com, and it has word games, math games, stuff like that. It'll give you the French word and say, what's this, and you pick out what it is. Or you can do English or maths or science. There's also an art bit, so it will show you the painting and then ask you which artist did it. And it's just supposed to be like a memory thing, so kind of like brain training on the DS. A little bit of that. You have to like help yourself a little bit. You can't just expect everything to come back. You have to try to get it back. So I do things like that, brain training. Not on the DS, I don't have a DS, but the free rice thing, word searches, manual ones with a pen, I do them. Just basically try to do what I can to help myself. I don't really know what else to tell you guys. What am I waiting on? Right, so I'm waiting on a referral to vascular and a referral to the dietitian because I'm struggling to maintain a healthy weight. I'm about a stone heavier than I want to be, but I don't want to go where I was so thin. It's not comfortable, and I've mentioned that in my previous videos. So, dietitian referral, vascular referral, and a psych referral, which I actually got. I just need to call them up tomorrow. It's Sunday today. I'm not mental, but some of the things that happened while I was sick, it's hard to explain to family members, and yeah, I don't think you really get it unless you've been there. And while a counsellor may not have been there and had cancer herself or himself, at least they're trained to deal with that specific thing, because this one is specifically for cancer patients. And that's kind of what I wanted. I have had to go out and chase it myself to get it. I was offered psych before my second operation, because I think I may have mentioned in one of my previous videos, there was a nurse and she was like, I was sat in my bed after one of my procedures, just having fluid drained off my back, and I could just sort of tuned into this nurse going, you need to get down here now and come and see this girl, I'm worried about her, and da, da, da. And I'm sort of sat in my bed thinking like, wow, you know, what's wrong, who's like, who needs help? And like within 10 minutes somebody's calling me from my bed to go and speak to the head of the North Wales psychology, who is Gilly Wilcox-Jones, and she's amazing. I went in, I was already crying because the procedure on my back hurt, and they also said to me that if they couldn't drain the fluid off, it was because the cancer had progressed, and the guy couldn't drain the fluid off. So in my head I'm sat there and I'm like, great, so now I'm like stage 4 or whatever. So I went into the room crying anyway, but then Jilly spoke to me and she said that the nurse had called and contacted her, and, you know, such a worry and da-da-da. And within about 10 minutes of me sitting and explaining to her that, like, I'd just been told if he couldn't drain it off, it's a progression. So that's why I'm like, pop, my head just burst. My family's not there, they've just told me that if he can't do it, it's a progression. And I'm sat on my own and nobody gives a crap. So I'm like, you know, within about 10 minutes of me explaining that and speaking to her, she basically said to me, you're not crazy, you're actually pretty together, considering what you're dealing with. I think I saw her, like, once after that, passing in the corridor, and she was going on a vacation or something herself and wrote in a letter to me that, hey, if I needed her help again, here she is, but otherwise, good luck, and, you know, you're doing well. So yeah, I had it then, and then I went through my second operation, then went through chemo and didn't hear nothing, didn't get offered any counselling. Macmillan, I saw them twice. I don't like to slate them, but they didn't help me. I have still helped them. I still support their charity. My nephew actually got his hair shaved off for Brave the Shave. For Macmillan, he raised like over £400, which is amazing. So I don't knock them. I know they do help some people, just as Marie Curie do. But personally, they didn't really help me with anything. Except one thing I will say. I was taking metoclopramide for nausea, but it was causing, what are they called? There's a certain word, myoclonic jerks. So I was like trying to sleep, and I'd get these jerks where like my arms would just go out and I'd throw the cover off, or my leg would kick out, like restless leg syndrome. And aside from stress, I couldn't link it to anything else. I was like, what is that? And my auntie would have me drink like a bottle of Coke because it has electrolytes in it, and then that night I wouldn't have them. But I don't recommend you drink Coke, by the way. Drink water. Yeah, so the Macmillan nurse, counsellor, whatever she was, that came out to my house, the second time she came out, she explained that actually metoclopramide, one of the biggest side effects that affects most people, is it gives you myoclonic jerks. So I came off that, and I ended up getting something else for nausea, and then in the end I didn't need it anyway. So that, they did help. Like, that was a big help, because the jerks were stressing me out, which in my head would make me have more jerks. So yeah, like, vicious circle. I think that's it. So Peripheral, sort that out tomorrow. Vascular, still haven't heard from them, hoping to hear from them soon for my leg. Dietitian. I called them, they didn't call me back, so I need to get on that one as well tomorrow. I have asked all the way through, and they only seem to care if I was underweight. Now that I'm overweight and not really happy or maintaining a healthy weight, they're not on my case, so I'm going to get on their case. I do go to the gym. I don't do my physio as much as I should, really. Again, it's just like the physio said to me, set an alarm on your phone and, then get up and do it. And I can set the alarm on my phone, and then I can still just sit there and think, I'm so tired, I can't do this. I do go to work. I do 8 hours a week, which was half of what I was doing before I was sick, and while I was sick, I was doing 16 hours. But I do 8 and come home from work. The journey home from work takes about 30 minutes, and it takes about 30 minutes to get there too. So all in all, it's only 3 hours, and beforehand, 3 hours would have been nothing. But right now, it's draining me. Actually went out the other day, and again, I was probably out for about 4 hours on my day off. I didn't walk the whole time, but I walked a good percentage of the time in between, like, the bus, the train, the taxi. And my foot is just so sore, burning, like, to the point where I have to take my foot out my shoe, and I'm like, and then trying to put it back in my shoe, and I'm like, ooh, and I can't explain it. It's just a pain in my bone there, and it's horrible. But the bottom of my feet, because I have peripheral neuropathy in my feet and my hands, they seem to react differently now when I walk. Like, my head can do the walk, my feet are like, no you can't, no you can't. And I don't know when that will stop. It's been like, I had my second operation in 2014 in October, so, but I didn't finish chemo until April 2015. So still, it's been like this April, you're talking 2 years. and the peripheral neuropathy is still definitely there, but according to my book, it can take 5 years, but I was told that the peripheral neuropathy can be lifelong, because the myelin sheath, whatever, the sleeve around your nerve, it gets chewed away. So like, even if it's not fully chewed away, it's enough to keep your thing like numb forever, because that doesn't grow back, it doesn't repair itself as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I've managed to do projects like this. Made like snowballs. I kind of am back into sewing, but not too much. And work, and that's about it. That's like my life. And I have my collection, which is as simple as clicking a button on Amazon and getting it. That's about all I have to tell you. So I'm waiting on a bunch of appointments. I'm waiting on a scan. I'm doing okay. So thank you for all your messages. I have replied to all of them. I always will reply to all of them unless I don't see them. I hope in some way that my videos could help somebody, even if it's just with, this is ringing true for what I have, you know, but it doesn't have to be cancer, and I don't want all you guys to think, oh, I've got cancer because I match up to this girl's symptoms. It can be IBD, it can be celiac disease, IBS, it can be ulcerative colitis, it can be Crohn's, it can be so many things can go wrong with your body and with your bowel in general, that you don't just jump to the worst, because that's not always the case. One of the things that they were even looking at for me was gallstones. They thought at one point I had gallstones, which I didn't, but that could be something again. It could always just be your appendix kicking off, but not usually in response to you eating, which a lot of my symptoms came on after I ate. So yeah, if you have any questions, just go ahead and put them down there, and I'll reply to them if I can. Right now I need to go and take a bath, so love you and leave you. I'm sorry it's taken so long to do a video. It's been almost a year. I was quite shocked when I saw that. I was like, oh crap, because I thought it had been maybe 6 months. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I won't promise to do the next one any sooner, because I'd probably break that promise just on a memory front. I generally do keep my promises, but it's remembering that I promised it. So yeah. So anyway, brain. So yeah, take care, look after yourself, and please keep watching my videos. And even if they don't help you, maybe they might help a friend or a relative. So just maybe think, hey, this might help, and maybe share the video. And I don't say that just for the sake of subscribers. I don't care about subscribers. Just I've gone out my way to spread the word since this has happened. I'm involved with the Never Too Young campaign through Bowel Cancer UK. The Lynch syndrome I was involved with, but I actually found out I don't have Lynch syndrome, which I don't think I've said in my videos before, so that is new information. My test came back, I don't have Lynch syndrome. They are testing me for Stickler syndrome. I don't know how long that test takes, so we'll see. Bye. Take care.